Roasting rack of lamb in the steam oven using the reverse sear method. Slow, low temperature cooking followed by a final blast of high heat. If you've been using your steam oven for a while, you already know that everything you cook in a steam oven has amazing flavor and texture. But sometimes it can be confusing thinking about, well, should I follow a recipe or should there be special instructions for cooking in the steam oven? Today I want to show you how to take a rack of lamb and cook it to perfection in a steam oven. Now, when you're roasting meats, there's always two steps involved. One is high heat for searing and rendering the fat and giving you that beautiful glossy brown finish, and the other is cooking. So you can choose, you can either do the searing in the beginning and then lower the temperature and cook the meat, or you can do the reverse. I'm going to do the reverse with this rack of lamb, and I'm going to use a technique called low temperature cooking. So this is a technique that's only for lean, tender cuts of meat. It's not for, those muscular cuts of meat. But basically I'm going to use 200 degrees in the oven. I'm going to monitor the cooking with the internal meat probe. Now, I like to usually cook my lamb to between 130 and 135 degrees, but I'm only going to program the internal temperature of the probe to 125. So when the oven turns off, I'll know that the meat is cooked. I'll bring it out and let it rest. And after it's rested, I'm going to put it back into the oven at a high temperature to finish the cooking, do that last searing step. So if I were to cook the meat to the desired finished temperature in the first round of cooking, it would be overcooked by the time I did the second. Easy enough, right? Now this rack of lamb is a domestic US rack of lamb, and you can see the chops are quite a bit larger than the ones that come from Australia and New Zealand, but they're all delicious. So here we go. The lamb has been prepped with a rub of rosemary and parsley and garlic and some kosher salt, a little rub of olive oil. So let's go over to the oven and get it cooking. So the meat probe reached the programmed internal temperature of 125 degrees. And as you can see, the outside definitely does not look cooked, even though we know the inside has reached the programmed temperature. So now I'm going to let the lamb rest for about 10 minutes while I crank up the temperature in the oven and get my side dishes going. And when we come back, we'll see the finished results. So it took approximately 40 minutes to cook this 2 1/3 pound rack of lamb roast at 200 degrees to an internal temperature of 125 degrees. As you saw, I pulled the rack of lamb out of the oven and I set it aside to rest for 10 minutes. And then I put it back in the steam oven using just the convection setting with no added humidity, and using a temperature of 450 degrees. And after 10 minutes, the fat had pretty much rendered. We got some nice color, and all we have to do now is slice it and enjoy it. So your steam oven has many different functions. It's always good to try different techniques, but I know you'll always be amazed with the amazing flavor and texture of all foods that you cook in your steam oven. Hi, I'm Larissa, your convection enthusiast. Convection cooking can make you a better cook. Check out my videos and I think you'll find that you'll do really, really well. And please like and subscribe.